I think this exact same matchup that Ian was sent home last month in match number 10 in the lower bracket round number 2, he fell to Morton 2-1. So we'll see if he can turn the tide here against the golden-chaired golden boy, the goated one, the Pharaoh, Mohamed Light, who's running Mortar GY.
Mortar Graveyard, Mortar connects already. Ian, maybe with a Lava Hound deck with the Goblins for some cheap defense. Goblins from Mohamed Light as well. Ian not going to have to respond to these Goblins. Dagger Dutch is going to clean this up very easily. And both players kind of just leaking Elixir. Mo with the Little Prince in the back.
And the Void here to clean that up. And again, this becomes part of that conversation. Wow, look at that. Misses the Void placement. Only hits the 1 tick. So now has to spend 6 Elixir on just that Little Prince. And the barrel just a second early from Mo.
Yeah. And this just goes back to like all the little things that Dagger Dutch changes. You know, Ian made a mistake, doesn't get punished because he has the Dagger Duchess cleaning up the night for free. Mo leaking Elixir, wanting to play something, can't really do it on the right side. The Dagger Duchess is going to get free trades, tries the Barbarian Barrel soon, but, you know, that doesn't work out either. So, you know, Ian going to be all right because of the Dagger Duchess here.
And I actually really like everything that Ian just did. Let's go from top to bottom. I think that was a predictive Inferno Dragon on top of the Mortar. He dropped the Inferno right before Mo dropped the Mortar. Really, really nicely played there. Then he gets the Zap in that allows the Inferno Dragon to connect on top of the tower. And then he gets the better Void that takes out the Little Prince. So Ian doing all things correctly and adjusting. And then on the other side of it, so is his opponent. Mohamed Light goes, all right, you've gotten my Mortar the last 2 times with the Inferno. I'm going to predict your Inferno this time with Goblins. And now just making Ian spend a lot more up front here.
Yeah, and then 1 Mortar shot's all he needs, but the Dagger Daggers does not clean up the Goblins right inside. We do see an ability off in time though, but the Evil Barbarians gonna be able to clean up everything. Mo up a little damage here, but he's gonna need some more, especially now this double Elixir.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the best ability after a really, really nice Void there from Ian, but no harm, no foul. 24-33, 20-44 is another Mortar lock here happens for Mohamed Light, getting it down in the exact same lane as this encroaching Lava Hound push. So can he protect the Little Prince? Will he have enough air defense? And there you go. Little Prince does get taken out early on. Night comes down late. I think he needs to surround that Little Prince early, but then that becomes the mind game of if you surround it too early, then you waste the Goblins, then you still have the Void. And again, talking about how the Void really changes the way the game is played.
Okay, I love the usage of the 3-card cycle of the Little Prince to get 2 Finks down the defense. And Ian went everything there. He went with all of his Elixir. And I don't know if you saw it, but a Knight snuck through and did a bunch of damage to that Dagger Duchess on the left-hand side. So Mo now up a lot of HP here.
And you have to stop this Mortar, which means you have to overspend on it. So he goes Goblins plus the Void. Now he still needs to take care of this Mortar, and there you go. Gets the Barbs down late. Mortar locks on, Goblin on the tower for a couple stabs, and now this is a win it or quit it for Ian on this next push.
Poison needs to drop down the defense. There it is. Does he have Phoenix back cycle 3-card cycle? Yes, he does. Phoenix drops down, gonna deal with the Lava Hound. Going to allow the Dagger Duchess to clean up and lock on the Inferno Dragon. Inferno Dragon still has some HP. He goes for the Mortar to attack, but also defend at the same time. We are heading into triple Elixir, though, and, you know, Ian might be able to make this happen. But the Mortar gets
I don't know about that. Void, yeah, Mortar gets a shot there. And Mohamed Light doing a great job of keeping up the Mortar defensively, or keeping up the Mortar pressure so that Ian has to spend Elixir defensively. It's always got to be guards and then a Void or an Inferno or Barbs. And so the Mortar pressure has been excellent here for Mo. So there you go. Goblins out early. He's not back to Barbs. Mortar's going to lock. He has to Void, and that's going to do it. Mortar, wow, Mortar didn't get a shot.
Mortar didn't get a shot. Here comes the evil Mortar. Does this connect? Goblins are distracting. Poison's down. Poison does do enough. He just needs to stall, and that is going to be it. Mohamed Light taking down Lava Hound for the first time today.
This deck's win condition is Graveyard. He's running this deck. I'm going to adjust. And then Ian just, I mean, like you said, Juice, he threw everything that he had at him early on, and Mo defended it basically perfectly. And that was when things probably started looking a little bit crazy for Ian. Anyway, that's game number 1, a very impressive one. Mo has put on a clinic the last 3 games in a row, now working on going 2 sets in a row, as he's in game number 2 here against Ian, who is fighting for his life in our lower bracket.
Okay, Ian with a Phoenix and a Night Witch. It makes me think Giant immediately. Looks like Mohamed has that as well, but instead with an Inferno Dragon. We have an Inferno Dragon versus Wizard. Wizard going to be showing its power right here with that splash damage. Void for Mohamed Light is interesting. He must have an arrows here as well to be able to deal with this Wizard. Will Ian decide to counter push with this, or does he let this go? And a Bomber, actually. That was a very nice played Bomber. Gonna be able to get his Bomber in cycle as well. His Evo Bomber, I mean.
Yeah, so all things kind of perfect for Momo so far. 1934 to an untouched tower. Ian does not double down on that last push. I don't know if that's the Mohamed Light effect or if it was actually the correct play. Mohamed Light defends with just a Bomber, and here we are. Inferno out to deal with that Goblin Giant. And then a Giant of his own to tank, so I wonder if Ian's going to go a little aggressive here.
I don't love the Giant. If you are going to defensive Giant, I think you've got to kite Ops lane to the Dagger Duchess that's filled up. But now you have a Knight with some HP that you kind of have to defend, but you don't want to, because now you're down like 4 elixir. And then once again, Dagger Duchess does not need help. So he is going to retain that elixir lead by letting the Dagger Duchess clean up his counter pushing unit for free.
Yeah, and then he's got to get heavy on the offense here, I feel like. And there you go. Yeah. Goblin Giant right up front. Mo saw it coming. We saw it coming. But Ian also has to know that if Mo saw it coming, how's he going to deal with it? And you see right there, the Void comes out. And Ian calls good game again. It was a defensive Void that actually didn't end up doing... I mean, I guess it cleaned up the Night Witch, which is kind of all he needed. Yeah.
And this is going back to what I was saying earlier, where Void, it might be the most versatile spell in the game. It can be an Evo Zap, and it can be in Rocket in literally one placement. It cleans up the bats with the first strike, and then on the second strike, there's only the Night Witch. If the Void is only targeting one card, it does 544 damage at Termin Standard, which is enough to one-shot even a Mother Witch or a Magic Archer.
Yeah, it really is crazy when it has those one card massive elixir swings. And Fishboy for Fishboy, but the Fishboy from Ian nice and low.
And then the Knight, I don't know if you noticed that, the Knight actually just pushed the Wizard out of range, but Mo with the micro placement of the Evo Bomber is going to be able to clean that up like it never happened.
Dude, that Bomber just took out 3 units with one throw. That was absolutely nuts there for Mohamed Light. Perfect placement with that Evo Bomber.
Knight at the bridge, just kind of a big push. Void used on defense here, taking the shield of the Wizard out, which allows you to place cards closer to it to not have to worry about that knockback. He gets 5 elixir right now. He decides to go for the Giant at the bridge. Bomber does go in front, and the Fishboy actually kind of poorly placed, in my opinion. Maybe he doesn't need it. Giant does get 1 hit, and Evo Knight on the counter push.
This is a big counter push, but Mo has not been bothered by them in the past. Arrows comes out early, Bomber up high, and honestly, that's going to be enough. I mean, I'm always so impressed by his clean, cheap defenses. 1 bat lasts a little longer than Mo would have liked. 22-24, 1569.
That Fisherman value was just unheard of. It pulls the other lane of Dagger Duchess, but it also just does such a fantastic job of cleaning up the egg as well. We see the Void used once again like a small spell here, and I think that's what Mohamed Light is doing a lot better than a lot of these players, honestly. Yeah. He's using the Void in ways that other people aren't. I mean, Ian did get a lot of damage, though. There's only 30 seconds left on the clock.
Nice pick up there with the Bomber to snipe off the Fisherman, gets the Giant to tower, uses the Bomber to distract the Fishboy, then uses the Void, now back to a Giant. And yeah, Ian did a really good job on that last push to kind of take the lead, but now I think Mohamed Light's got it locked up. Keeps distracting the Fishboy, keeps getting that damage on top of the tower, and even though Mo just turned around and won that game, ends up making it a 2-0 sweep. I do want to go back to your point of talking about the way he used the Void.